Hello! You are watching The Garden Corner Show. We are a show, of course, where we're crazy. And we're crazy passionate about everything that we know of gardening. I am J-Dog John Karshman. I'm out here with Mr. Dave. Starting to rain. We want to wrap up real quick because we're not ready for rain. And if I had a mirror, which would be really good, because Mr. Dave is there holding up the camera, and he's got a piece of plastic over him. He doesn't even use an umbrella. So he's kind of a Oregon tough now. Mr. Dave, you're an Oregon tough. Would you say that?
I like the sun.
He likes the sun. Hey, quick shout out, of course. I want to give a shout out to our newest fans because this is really, I can tell you from my heart, it is extremely exciting. This is it's a growing community. So hello to Cindy Bourne, Tina Yoder. Tina, those are beautiful horses. Jim's Remetwa. Lorna Poter. Lorna writes this. If you tickle the earth with the hoe, she laughs with the harvest. I thought that was pretty good. Would you say? Yeah. It's a lot of fun. Especially when you know where exactly on the earth, that she's ticklish. You know, like kind of right on the armpits and sorry, gone off. Charlotte Comstock. Hi, Charlotte. Debbie Tyra. Debbie, are you tickling that guy? Randy Finney. Ariane Powell. Ariane, cute pic of you two, by the way. And the rain is getting it all wet, so it's starting. The ink is starting to run all over. And Virginia Kennedy. And Sandy Eli. Hey, Sandy, did you make that quilt? I was wondering. Very nice. Anyway, hi guys. I hope you enjoy the show, and I hope it brings something to you to help, to encourage. Now, just to move along in the garden. Hey, I want to tell you about some really neat clematis, and now we are actually March 2nd. So very beginning March, and we're thinking about clematis. And clematis, I've heard it all a number of different ways in different parts of the world, and I don't care how you say it. I get your point. So I'm going to say clematis, and clematis. And neat thing about this is that there are some very early spring blooming. I almost want to say winterish into spring blooming clematis. And they're not, now these guys are something that are much more delicate, and they're not the big showy summer color against the wall color all over the place. These are much more particular, dainty, notice me in a small moment type thing. And so let me tell you about these four that I have, shall we? So this one here is Clematis alpina frankie. And what you can see, I'll let you zoom in on the next one here, Mr. Dave. Now these guys are really just small blooms, and they hang down like this. For all four of these that I'm going to show you, they hang down, they don't hang up like this, hang down, and what we call them is they're all nodding blooms. You know what nodding blooms are? Nodding as in nodding, not naughty. Nodding. Nodding is like this. I remember my brother Philip one time when he was little. I'm sorry, Mr. Dave, but he fell asleep in his he fell asleep in his food. He was just a little baby. He was nodding, and we were all laughing at him. Anyway, nodding. Clematis Clematis macropella J. Linmark. Neat flower. This one has kind of a light blue flower. Again, you can see the close-up of all these buds on here. Can you see that? So, let me lift up the tags here. This has mauve purple blooms on this guy. You can see it's ready to rock and roll. So, nice early spring bloomer. This guy over here, Clematis alpina constans. This one has more of a pinkish bloom on. Now maybe it's what we're looking at is the tag. So it has a little more pink bloom on it, as you can see. A little more finger-like type bloom, but something that you might notice. It could be great in a tight corner. Maybe it's even outside of a kitchen window where you spend some time and you can appreciate that delicate bloom. So anywhere that you have something, it could be in the pot, in the container as well. And I've also done it with an obelisk inside of a pot. Very, very nice. And the last one over here is the Clematis macropetala lagoon. And look at this, guys. They really are ready to grow. And this one has a little more a little more purpley bloom on this guy. It says deep blue lantern-like. So let me show you that picture. I don't know if you can see that. And then you can see the buds on these guys ready to go too. So now they won't open up just yet, but they'll open up with a little more spring weather. So technically that's supposed to be in April. Anyway, so just to give you a heads up on what's coming up, and should I even talk about these guys that are trying to get into the show, or how are we for time? Because these guys they're trying to get. We were joking before we were starting the show that these guys are trying to get in the show. Should I mention it real quick? Okay. Well, anyway, a cypress. This is completely different. We're going way off the subject. This is a lemon cypress, and we just got some in. The neat thing about the lemon cypress, by the way, if you're especially doing containers, is that this has a very lemony smell to it. Especially if you stop and really, yeah. If you really stop and just crush the needles a little bit, it smells like, I say it smells like lemon pledge. So that, you spray it on there, clean the furniture, what people used to do. So anyway, and to preface, the neat thing about this guy is you trim it to however height you like, and these plants are just beautiful, nice and full, ready for a container. So anyway, and I'll just skip over the contorted filbert, even though this is also a really cool plant too. But we'll get that next time so I don't bore you to death. Anyway, hope you get something from that. Here is the quote for the day. Lest this has been a complete waste of your time. The best way to cheer yourself up is to try to cheer somebody else up. Thank you very much, Mark Twain. That's the show for the day. Always live your passion.
You see me right out of the sunset on the color TV screen.